What up, lurkers? Hey, Brendan, what are you doing? How is your Friday? Oh, you said you got the lawnmower running. What was the lawnmower problem? What did you ever find out? Carb? Spark? Fuel? Hey, AJ. Hello. Missed you while you were fishing in the stream. Driving, so I cannot commentary. Sorry. How responsible of you as you drive and comment. Bob, what's up, you damn rat brain hoarder? Daryl, how's everybody doing? Fuel line clogged up. That'll do it. Thanks, ethanol. Thanks, ethanol. So, reds have always been my nemesis. But I think I have. So, maybe I should wait and see if Pryor gets on here. Because Pryor, maybe I'll give a minute before I start talking reds. I'll just continue to go through these baits and see if I have any little nibbies on them, and then sand them off. This one is perfect, so that's good. Bob, if you could see that thing in person, dude. 1 out of 2 trying to blow up like a blimp. Oh yeah, I guess I'd never do that. I probably should. The first thing I should do to get it out of the way is address the title of the video. So yes, I did receive a message from a gentleman that had his Spro Chad Shad that had never seen water just sitting in his comfortable AC home blow up, like balloon out. And I hope that was just something weird one-off, because if it's not, there's going to be a lot of pissed off Chad Shad owners that their Chad Shad start, like, if it happened inside, I can only imagine how they're going to pop in the heat. So we'll see. Maybe it's just a fluke thing. Been up for 24 hours. Just got kicked out of the fishing spot. The one you always go to? Tom, how are you? Good morning. 50 horse. 50 horse cable steer or tiller? S flat KO does that. If the Spro works as well, they'll sell 1 million of them. Yeah, that's the thing. I used to keep a bunch of those for myself, AJ. The flow glider, the S flat. I guess it's an S flat because that's what the flow glider was ripped off of. But I never had any blow up. But I don't know. Maybe I just got lucky. Actually, knock on wood, I don't know how many baits I've had blow up, period. To be quite frank, I don't know why or what the deal, but I don't have baits explode on me that I can even that I can even recall. 75 Merc. Down to the last couple steps. Well, that should be, I don't know how hard those are to get parts for, but those old ones usually run good. Those are really good baits, though. That was a really well-designed bait, the S-flat. It kind of, I don't know, it kind of got swept under the rug, I feel like. Like it was, like it had, I guess it had its reputation for being cheap, but it would catch the shit out of them. It swam great. I don't know. The OG KO swim bait blank. It was the original. You're right. That I can think of. It predated the trout glide, whatever that thing was called. Yeah, as far as like decent swim baits, that was the one. That was the one. Yeah, I don't know that there's. I haven't tried anymore. Like that was, I got on that one and that was it. But I haven't bought a swim bait blank in years. But that one was good, real good. All right, let's see what this thing looks like. Bob, I might have to order a few. What did Tom say? Another little nib on here. Morgan never had an S float. I don't know. That's the thing about reviews and like people telling you something on the internet, like you read, um, like take that shit as like a grain of salt. Like people are like, oh my damn, this thing's a piece of junk that popped on me, or their Strike King baits are shitty. They pop down the seams. Dude, I've got a lot of Strike King baits. You know how many pop down the seam? None. And I'm not talking about because they sit in here for the last few years, but like when they were riding in the boat, I never had one pop. And it gets hot down here. Water temp on the river right now is 93. That's pretty hot. But I think when you leave stuff in your boat and it just sits in there and it's been hot all day, and then guys get home and they like leave their tackle in their boat and it's already hot from all day and it just sits in there compressed and like it just cooks. Um, I don't know though. Like I said, I've never really had that many issues. Shiny as new. If anyone's looking for some noisy docks from Evergreen, I got 4 brand new ones. South Jersey, you probably know the only people that know what a noisy dock is. What is that? Are they sought after? Is that a sought after bait? Is it worth the best evergreen wake bait ever made? Well, somebody should want it then. Got my balsa today. They look awesome. Good deal, Rich. Maybe you get out to throw them around one of these days. I have thousands of baits. Never had any split, break, or explode other than me smashing against cover. Yeah, I don't. I want to say I had. What was it? It was something that hurt. It was I had one bait split down the back, and I want to say it was like a Lucky Craft or something, but it was still fishable. It just kind of opened up. It didn't like completely crack. It just opened up a little bit. It might have been an RC 1.5 or a 2.5 or something. I feel like it was a big bait, like a bigger size bait, like a BDS4, BDS3, or something like that. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Look at that little piece of sexy machinery. Look at that little piece of sexy machinery. That thing looks good, dude. Let's see what else we got here. Got my balsa, Savella, some other goodies. Going to need a bigger TK box. Yes, 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 yes. More blood. Bring on the blood. Bloody jointed claw. A 1.5 DD. Maybe that's what it was. I don't remember what the bait was, but all these guys talking about baits popping, like I feel like that's like a that's self-inflicted to a point. Milliken kind of made them popular back then. They have a cult following and super hard to find. They've been discontinued for a while, but now someone who is able to get pretty much anything from Japan. I'll have to look it up. AJ's only had one pop. So that's a pretty limited, considering all the crankbaits collectively between us. We're talking less than 2 hands worth of baits that have popped. That's not a very large sample. They're wood. I've had the bills pop out easy on the foam baits like a Sudeth. Yeah, I can see that. Don't those screw in? Aren't they supposed to have a pin through them though? 99% are due to improper storage. I would agree. Still planning on another swim bait? Yes, actually, Rich, that is next on the agenda. I've got all of Eric's stuff done. I've got I've pretty much got all my responsibilities out of the way. So now I'm going to try and focus on swim baiting. That is the next move for next week. I've got a few random swim baits here and there, but um, I've had a lot of guys message me. It's one of those times of year where people are like, "Hey, I'm gonna send you a bait." It's like, okay, and then like something happens and you don't hear back from them and you don't get a bait, and then you hear back from them in like a month and like, "Sorry, dude, I forgot about it. I'm gonna send it now." And typically, all those people like are on the same page, and so I was supposed to have a bunch of swim baits to paint next week, but I don't have that many, so I'm going to build. I'm going to build them instead, which is what I should be doing anyway. So, um, yeah, those little like the thing about striking eyes is striking eyes aren't glued in; they're just stuck on by the adhesive and clear coated over. I'm assuming. I don't even know if they clear coat over their eyes. They might put the eyes on after clear coat. Um, AJ, you use your YouTube channel? I couldn't find it. I tried to. Brian sent me a link to it, but I wasn't logged in on Instagram, so I wanted to use the app. So I tried to search it. I couldn't find it. Bob, the only ones worth fishing have the have the pin that go through the bill. Striking eyes are perfectly fine just the way they are. They are, because when you pop them off, it is. They've actually started doing them a little like the 10XDs and some of the newer baits. They've started like gluing the eyes on, and they're really not as easy to get off. I'm in love with the gooey, squishy eyes that Strike King puts on their baits because they are a dream to remove. You can just flick them off with your finger or something dull, a spoon, anything. So, um, has anyone ever sent in those Rebel Balsa like crankbaits for paint? I rarely hear any talk about them. Rebel Balsa? I don't ever recall even seeing a Rebel bait that was non-plastic. I didn't know such a bait existed, I don't think. So in that case, no. Not only have I never painted one, I don't even know that I've heard of them. Rebel Balsa Light? Let me look this up. Might have seen one. Rebel Balsa Light. I don't. It's a Rebel Balsa bait. Images. The Google machine doesn't even show existence of this. Rebel. What year would this have been made? Has anybody else heard of this thing? I've literally, this is the first I've ever heard of Rebel making a wood bait. Is it made in the U.S., like for the U.S. market? I think it's from the 90s or 80s. I'm gonna start dicking around with the shad, Brendan. I've got some ideas I want to try. Rebel Balsa. I see nothing on the internet about this. Send me the information you have on this mysterious crankbait, South Jersey. I've never once in all of my wood bait dealings. Temple fork rods for $60. Cotton Cordell. Ah, that makes a difference. Cotton Cordell. Like the Big O that they redid for Bass Pro Shops. I think I've got one around here somewhere, but I don't think they were ever a hit. Not yet, Brendan. I've got some tinkering to do. I've got some tinkering to do. Temple fork for 60. Is that blanks or is that actual built rods? We can let me do a we got to do a nib check. Make sure all these reds are good. Prior, if you're creeping, let us know because I have a prior story. It's not a story, but it's a. Dude, these things are so sexy. It's so sexy. Like I said, reds have always been my arch nemesis. It was always hard to get like a. It was hard for me to get like a deep red that was just like one of those like hot rod reds. You know what I mean? That's like really just rich and red and like has a lot of depth and looks. like in the car market or in the automotive hot rod, they say it looks like it looks wet, deep wet, deep wet paint. And then the Cordell. That one's got a little nibby on it. Let's go ahead and take care of this. Just because the paint is too beautiful to leave a dirty little nib in. Which do you want, Cordell or Bagley? Brennan, I can go ahead and tell you, you don't want a small fry, bro. These things suck. Except the little teeny ones. Is that the one you're talking about, Bob? There's only one small fry worth having. Beautiful. Oh, needs a little more. Sorry for your ears, dudes. I never threw the I never threw that one, Bob, for whatever reason. Why won't that come out? A hazy spot that's being troublesome. There we go. There we go. I'll show you the. I don't typically like any of the small fry series. I don't know why those didn't get bit. The crappie looked awesome. The bluegill looked awesome. The crawfish, I know Pat Remlick likes the crawl. He's got that magic crawl. I never could do anything on them. And the crawl, like you said, the crawl is just okay. If that's like the best one of the bunch. But this one, if you fish tidal, is legit. But it's really small and it's really light and it's hard to throw. But that one will catch them, especially the gold. Hey, like that one. Yeah, they look awesome. Like they mimic, like they were the most realistic ones, but they didn't. I think it's because they didn't have cartoon eyes on them. I don't know why they weren't effective, but whatever. I need something to put these baits on. Hey. Still throwing the small fry, Shad? It's I don't know what the small fry and tidal fish love about that thing, but maybe it's because it is small, and the tidal fish like the small. I don't know, but It works. It works. Let's put these up. I'm gonna start pulling plugs. Pulling plugs down. We're gonna start with these. Where's my pliers? Oh, yeah, you didn't want your small fry shit. You didn't want your small fries. Which reminds me, I need to get back to a guy. He messaged me yesterday, and he wanted a native gill, but he wants it to look like a tilapia for a Mexico trip. Which that sounds real fun. So I might have to accommodate that. Just because I won't. Just because I know the bait's going where there's like real fish. These had some little dirty spots on them. There you go. You don't want that little fish stuff. Good thinking, Brendan. So I'll go back to my red comment. Prior goes back and watches. So if you got to watch the prior stream, he said his number one color was that money red color. I was like, well, I don't have a red. Like I've never had a red that I was like, that's like my red, or that's like a good red, or that's just like something I was happy with, that I was like, man, what a great red. And I think like painting baits, like you get to a point where you're just like, that's the kind of shit that interests you. Like I need a red, like not just any red. I want to figure out how to paint red good. And it seems like you're going backwards, but I guess you're. I mean, to me, it's really not. But so I got a pretty good red yesterday. And if you see it in the light, like out in the sunlight, it's like very, very deep and lush and red, and it's dark, but it's very candy, hot rod, like nasty. So I was like, man, I'm actually happy with this, to where I would spray this again and make it like something that I would be proud of, to say, this is like a color. You know what I mean? This is like something that I would name, or you know what I mean? Something worth replicating. And but Pryor has money red. That's what his money's called, or that's what his red's called. And it's probably, Pryor's money red is the reddest thing you've probably ever seen in your life. And it's like, who's that? Who are you talking to? Oh, what's up, dude? He said he's jealous of your dad's workspace. Yeah, it's awesome. He said we adopt him. So I don't know if we can afford you. You want to move in? Yeah. But anyway, Pryor's got money red, and I think I have come up with the name for mine. Mine's going to be Broke Dick Red, because it's like the redheaded stepchild of money red. It's the opposite. It's dark, ominous. but it is very, very beautiful. It's one of those that I took a video earlier and it looks really good, but I don't know if it'll still, I don't know if the depth will still show up on a video. I need a new camera, honestly. Like I watch it, I watch a lot of videos, and you see them, and you're like, oh, that's a pretty good video, and then you see one that's like really good, and you're like, wow, I like that. I like that. I like that viewing experience. I like what my eyes just saw, especially when you're trying to get colors and stuff. Crisp, crisp camera certainly would be nice to have. The compound is weird. Yeah, this one's pretty. Like I don't know what my problems with red was, but like I said, they just never clicked for me. But I also think I wasn't looking for it. I've got a camera, Brendan. I just don't want to. I just need a new phone. Like I don't want to. I don't want it to take video from a camera and Bluetooth it and then save it and edit it and all that kind of stuff. I could. My want is not very high, so phone would be fine. I would get more use out of a phone. So let's see here. What is that spot? I don't like this compound. It's not as good as the other stuff I was using. Takes a while to cut. I was trying to ask Bob about the MC60s he's got, and he wouldn't let me comment, so I'll try. Were they the MC60 MR? Are they new or old? Bob, that's what all these are. They brought them back for a reason. Like that. Yeah, it's a really, 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 really good bait. I used to paint those. That was what I used to paint for. That was what Littner won the Open Championship on. I painted a sunfish colored Jackal MC60 MR for him, and he was at what lake was that? Morgan, you probably remember. It was up there by you, I thought somewhere. Or was he in Missouri? They brought them back for Littner, yeah. But I painted tons and tons and tons of those for him, but he he won on some championship. I think it was an open championship on some Ozark Lake on a sunfish I painted and another couple baits. But he actually, if you go back and you can find the YouTube video that Tackle Warehouse did, I think it was a Tackle Warehouse recap. He actually mentions me and shows the bait, which really was Table Rock. Okay, it really surprised me that he mentioned me and he mentioned the bait and he mentioned that it was painted. And I think he only reason he did that was because they had discontinued the bait and it didn't matter. You know what I mean? It was still a jackal bait, but it wasn't going to move the needle as far as he wasn't going to hurt sales by saying it was custom painted because people couldn't buy it anyway. Maybe if it would have still been in production, he might not would have said anything. But by it being discontinued, it didn't matter. People couldn't buy it anyway. They couldn't buy a custom painted one. They couldn't buy a regular one. So, yeah, I've got a pretty hefty little stock over there. I meant to get rid of them. What y'all think about that? Matte black popper thing. I like this one. This is, believe it or not, this is the same bait, except whoever was clear coating this one went real heavy on the clear and it covered up all the scales and everything. So there wasn't, it's more like a Rico now. So rather than try and dig these eyes out of like an inch of clear coat, I just put those eyes on it, and I think it looks cooler with the little dimples. It looks like one of those little, I don't know. I like it. That I thought were better. What does that mean? What did not meet? What didn't meet your expectations? That you thought that they were better than they actually were. The action, like they didn't swim good. Marty Burns, what's up? Builder dude. Phone. I listen to replays. Most of the streams I miss. That's pretty hardcore. Hello. The Dreamwalkers did show up. Well, one was left. Just bought it for 14 with shipping. If you need more, let me know. If you need more, Bob, I might part with some off the wall. I've got, I don't know, 30. Heard all this hype about certain jackal baits, and they just didn't perform like I was hoping. With a blast bone, you can even straight retrieve it. Our roll's way too much. You pretty much have to dead walk it. Joint hanger is spinning like the threads are stripped. That's not good. We need a theme song every time Marty comes in here. Can you do that, Brendan? Is there a way to do that when certain users log on, there like music plays? It'd have to be some like 80s metal for Burns. Too soon, AJ. Too soon. I'm not as techie. Yeah, you have to hit the button yourself though. Oh, that's lame. Can't they automate that shit, hello? I'm not trying to be like Fred on the Stern Show over here pushing buttons. Like it's 1993 terrestrial radio. I might have heard a dirty little secret South Jersey about Jackal. And that is that a lot of their soft plastics are made in the US. Would that not be cool? There's another interesting thing about U.S. made products is there's a foil company here that makes like heat press, hot stamp foil, whatever. And all these China, like you see it on a lot of Chinese lures, production lures, whatever. And they buy that stuff. The Chinese lure manufacturers buy it from the U.S. from that one little foil company, and it's like a very specific pattern. I have it over here somewhere, but you would have thought somebody in China would have ripped it off by now, but they still order their foil from those people. Jackal drop shot the foot shake, yeah. South Jersey just fell off his chair. Norries too. God. What are we gonna do? JDM market's imploding. Anthony, what's up, dude? Golden Earring Twilight Zone. I don't know, Burns. If you had to pick your intro song, what would that be? Good old, as Eric calls it, Trusty Rusty. Can't have too many of those. What else we got here? I'm going to put eyeballs in some of these. A little walking bait. And I'm going to do a little picture sesh today and not post pictures. American Badass. Oh yeah, that one, I knew this one had a. I remember seeing this one get its nib. It was a pointy one. I don't know what it was, but it was something fell and it was very pointy. Just about any metal works. Burns doesn't care. Burns doesn't care. Like, we talking like Iron Maiden or like Rat? I feel like Or were those fans one and the same? Hair metal or real metal? Yeah, that's what need clarification here. All of the above, doesn't care. Does not care. Dire Straits, that's a good one. I love Dire Straits. Mark Knopfler is probably, like, besides Hendrix, Hendrix is the king. He's the goat, the real goat. The legit goat, not like how these young kids these days throw around goat status all willy-nilly. He's the actual goat. But besides him, I think Knopfler I would put number 2 of my personal favorite guitar players, because I believe Knopfler to be the classiest of guitarists. He's got the touch, man. Burns likes all metal up until Limp Bizkit. Metal is pretty broad. Metal is pretty broad. Everybody's got their little. Yeah, you got to think, like, even in like the new metal era, like there was all those like subgenres of that, like Static X, and like they all fell into like the industrial kind of metal, and then there was, I mean, it was a lot of different subgenres even then. Then you get into the like European shit and the like black metal and Nordic, like all that weird shit. 20 Hellcats down, 20 to go. It's a lot, Burns. It's a lot. But yes, I did, for inquiring minds. I did get this beautiful package delivered. Burns, do you want your eyeball boxes back? I can ship you. I can break down your eyeball boxes and send them back. They're the perfect size, or do you have a steady flow of them? Do I have a Hellcat to show? Yes. What did I do with those, Morgan? I don't know if I have every size. Ow. This might have been one of them. We did a few, and there was a bunch of in-between sizes, and I can't remember which was which. I'll have to look it up. But top players. Hendrix, Mark Knopfler, Clapton, Gilmore. Gilmore's up there. And I was a huge Clapton fan growing up, but the older I've gotten, the less appeal Clapton's had to me. I like Cream era Clapton. Derek and the Dominoes is good just because of Layla, but after that, I kind of, I don't know. I think metal started going south with the obscenely unnecessary tuning. You don't like drop C, bro? You don't like drop F? Drop G? I thought we had more Burns. Maybe they weren't called Hellcats. I thought we had 3. Maybe the third one wasn't the Hellcat, I'm guessing. Might as well get a 6-string bass. I mean, it's basically what a baritone is. Well, let's see. This is the one we showed off last time. The Hellcat 1 is this one. Thanks for the clarification, Burns. This sexy little number is the one. So I guess I'll be getting to sanding. Brian, do you play it as lead guitar? He probably just riffs. Do that color, please. Could. Certainly could. Could do something else. Darius, you're late, bro. You've been out. Partying on the lake at night. Look at these flap slaps. Stupid eyes. Oh yeah, Burns told me I needed to watch that. The 4-pack that you did of the Hellcat 1s and 2s and that Red Chrome Ozark Chrome might be my favorite drop of all time. Of all time. I will say those were pretty legit. And maybe I need to do more crawls. Maybe the people are telling me, do more crawls, bro. Yes, Anthony, I am. I listen to a lot of Les Claypool. And here's the funny thing about Les Claypool, if anybody cares to get on a Les Claypool kick off of fishing for a second. So my ear does not pick up bass frequencies well. I have a hard time in a mix hearing bass. Like if I'm just listening to a song, it like the bass line does not jump out to my ear. Um, so uh, I've never really got into bass because I couldn't hear it. Like certain bass lines, you could. Like if you listen to Tool, you can always hear the bass in like a Tool song. But a lot of players I never got into. And when I was younger, I never really saw because I was young and dumb, and I just wanted to like play Hendrix stuff. Bass seemed so like not cool, and I didn't get it. Like I didn't understand where like how bass could be cool, and uh, and I always tried to listen to Promise. And at the time, like in the '90s, I knew they were popular, and I knew Les Claypool was like the bass goat. But I tried to listen to it, and I just couldn't get into it. And a couple years ago, uh, my brother-in-law he plays bass and drums, and I started dicking around on his bass, and then like started listening to like stuff, just like trying to listen for more bass, and uh, and I said, I'm gonna go back and listen to some Promise, and I went back and listened to some Promise, and like kind of dug into them, and but Promise is very like they make sure you can like if you listen to a live Promise show, the mix is like way less heavy, so you can hear like really good. I guess maybe that's what helped was that they make sure you hear it. But he did a he did an acoustic Winona's Big Brown Beaver performance, and one dude was on like a resonator, and he was playing some other like acoustic, and it's probably the most badass song ever recorded. That version. If you've never heard it, look it up. I don't know if you just have to look up Winona's Big Brown Beaver acoustic, but I don't know that it's acoustic, but it's incredible. Whatever it is incredible. Um, Bootsy, what you doing in my waters? Bootsy got the funk. Just make sure the safe search is on your browser. Yes, correct. Just look, search YouTube. Nothing crude will come up. It's on YouTube. The only instruments I could play was sax and piano. The guitar I was terrible on drums. I couldn't get down for some reason, even though I can easily make these with my hands and a pen. That is odd. That is odd. All right. Now, look at this little sexy number. Should get that. Anthony, when you played Guitar Hero a ton when you were younger, we used to play it in college, and we played it so much that when we turn off the TV, you could see buttons going up the wall. You ever do that? Like you could see like the keys. Oh, that's when you know you got it bad. Yep. Can never play drums, so I picked up bass. AJ, I didn't know you were a bass player, honestly. How did I not know this? I thought you have, don't you? I thought you sent me a picture of like an acoustic back in the day. After image burned into your brain. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Promise style is unique. Not a huge fan, but I enjoy the bass riff. Slight bass in my favorites. I tend to lean towards flea style. Yeah. AJ, are you like the Victor Wooten of Nebraska? Roy Gallagher is the shit. You know what's weird, Tom? Is that like growing up, I started playing guitar at 12 when I got into like Hendrix and stuff. So I was into Hendrix before that and like classic rock stuff. So even at 12, I didn't hear about Roy. Like at 12 playing the guitar, I was reading Guitar Player, I was reading Guitar World, I was reading all those magazines, taking in all the guitar stuff I could. And reading about like who's like the badass guitar players of all time, trying to like educate myself and listen to new stuff. And like I didn't hear about Rory Gallagher till I was like in my 20s. And for whatever reason, like Rory didn't get any cred as being like what a badass as he was. Like the fact that it took me that long to figure out who Rory Gallagher was is pretty astonishing. Um, Not Victor Wooten. I'm like the guy in college who picked up a guitar, but I'm fat, so is bass. You just keep the groove. You're a pocket guy. Skunk's a good color. Hard sell though, Bob. Real hard sell. Tennessee Bassmaster. What video game, bro? Barracuda was fun. Yeah, Sean. Friend of the craft. Um, had a bait explode that had been sitting inside of his AC'd home, and his Spro Chad Shad started expanding for seemingly no reason. Ace of Spades, that's a good one. I'd like to have met Lemmy. Probably couldn't have understood a word he said, but I always wanted to go down to that little bar he hung out with and like see him playing Nudie Photo Hunt or whatever he played. I'm sure people's eyes aren't bulging out for a black bait with a white stripe. No, they're not, but they work. Black hard baits are a hard sell in general, but they certainly work, and they like it's hard to argue that like black anything is like how effective it is in every other bait. Jigs, worms, plastics, like anything. Frogs. Uh, but even guys are starting. I know a lot more guys are throwing black top waters during the day, but the crankbait is a tough cookie to crack. Um, I don't know. I guess blacks. Uh, Skunk, but the black has red flake in it. I like that. I like that. The I'm more of a blue than a red guy, but um, black bandit 200 and black plopper. Black glide should be kept a secret. Well, I mean that's the thing. The guys that fish and like are always looking and trying and experimenting and trying to get an edge on pressured fish or just fish in general. you know, they eventually run across black hard baits, but the average guy just looking to grab a bait and go fishing, not walking down the aisles of Bass Pro Shop saying, "Ooh, black KVD 1.5. I need that for fishing tomorrow in the daylight." And the other thing that a black crankbait has against it is that if you go out and you buy a black crankbait for fishing in the daylight and you don't get bit immediately, it's going way down the pile. If you buy a shad bait and you don't get bit on it in the daylight, you're like, probably something wrong with it. But I'll try it a different time.
Hey, Morgan. Hey, Anthony, Kyle, John.
You still sound congested.
I am. I like my new.
Is your hair burns approved today?
Yeah, it's down. See, burns all down. It's even fixed.
Whoa.
What's up, Bob, Darius, John? Hola. What's up, Hella? I like the stars.
You giving virtual tours of the shop?
I was giving virtual tours of the first shop. Looking spiffy, thanks. Rocking the curls, that's right. I feel like it's the only way my hair looks decent these days. Throw a couple curls in it. What's up, Brendan? Yep, very much approved by Marty. What's everybody doing this weekend? Anything good? Anybody fishing?
No.
Nobody's fishing? Too hot?
No.
Sean, your hair is my length? Dang. Bring back the 80s. A big old poof. Washed out. Dang. TK and his Daisy Dukes. Y'all got 1 minute before my next call. You're hoping for the Lollapalooza to be canceled.
Lala?
Oh, it isn't canceled. Is it supposed to rain? That's not good. Red Hot Chili Peppers is one of my favorites. The fish are dying from the heat, I bet. There was something on that. The Gulf of Mexico is too hot, and a lot of the fish can't get oxygen, and they're dying, supposedly.
I'm sure Randy will do a post on it.
Babysitting is 10 times harder. It is than working, I have to say. Metal hair, I will die. 97 degrees water temperature. Dang, my bath water ain't even that hot. Whatever that says.
I don't see it. Ouachita water temp was 97. It's pretty hot.
Oh, call time. Bye, guys. I'll get 11:30. See y'all later.
Skip a family gathering. Might as well. How does Ouachita get so hot? Like the Alabama River was 93, I saw yesterday. I guess it's got current going through it that cools it off a little bit. Outside of it hitting 106, it's been cool here last night. It was in the 60s. Damn. I got it made. What eye for this? Do we have any eye recommendations for this little beauty? This little boogie back. Make some racket. I got an eyeball of jointed claw. It's got that little bitty eye. Zombie eyes. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Eric's probably going to change the eyes anyway, so I might as well just do whatever I want. Let's see. The zombie eyes I have aren't big enough. Zombie eye? They don't look terrible. I wonder if it'll fit in the jointed claw. No. Too teeny. I need a 5mm. Those would work in that though. One bulging bloodshot eye and one missing a bloody socket. Good. I don't know. Setchers, I think he's just been sitting on this thing. I've painted. There was a guy in Austin that was South Jersey. He would probably rival your JDMness, and he was much older and much deeper into it. So his JDM nerdness went back decades, and I painted a ton of these things for him. He used to get them. He used to get them by the damn truckloads from over there, and he just give them to me, and he's like, "Paint this a bluegill, paint this a bluegill, paint this a bluegill." He loved them. I never dicked around with one, but I painted a ton for him, and like I said, I don't know. They're loud. They seem like they'd push a lot of water. Pretty cool bait. I don't know. Pretty cool bait, I guess. This is the most Alibaba looking eye I think's ever been made. Does anyone think eyes really matter? I know they do from a sales point, but for catching fish, I do. I think it doesn't hurt to have eyes on your bait. Do I think over the course of my life I will catch more fish because my baits have eyes versus no? Yes. I think over the course of time, it would add up to more bites. I mean, these will still get bit without eyes, certainly, but I think that in certain situations they do actually make a difference. Let's take a look at a. Let's try a down-looking Megabass style eye. I don't even know why I'm putting eyes on these, because Eric's going to do it anyway. And put some like 30 millimeter eye on the side of this bait, but I'll make them look pretty when they leave. What you do with it after me, no big deal. It actually looks pretty good with the Megabass eye, even though it's too small. It looks Megabassy. Agreed? That could be a Megabass product. Slashed your front tire with a skid steer bucket. Oh. Good thing it was your tire and not somebody else's leg. What a buffoon. What a buffoon. I'm going to use this. I'm going Megabass eyes. I need to go to Home Depot and get me some of that fancy glue. That $6 glue. Dude, these are micro eyes. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I do this to myself? I think we're stuck quick. Dick eye. Actually looks pretty good. Looks like a little piranha. Looks like a little piranha. What color are those? Gold. Let's go gold across the board. What I say, peace on these hoes. Yeah, I mean, you're not really at fault. Like, where does it end? You have to stop somewhere, right? You can't wait indefinitely. Unless you're in middle school and you're waiting on your girlfriend. Hey, I'll be right back. Okay. 3 hours later. You're still there? Yeah, what's up? What have you been doing? Playing Nintendo? All right. Mega Bass rip off. All right. I think everything has eyes. Everything is ready to ship. Eric, the last of the last is coming. Oh. We're in the building. Do they have broken in multiple times? Still materials. That's normal. Is that Baltimore? Bob, usually guys will use untinted spike it, but pretty much, Sean. That stuff's been here a while. That was just a gigantic box of stuff. That was just paint when you get to it. So finally, I went through and I pulled some stuff out that I wasn't going to paint. Like this, the G Crack edition doesn't need to be painted. Whopper ploppers. There's some wood baits. Yeah, it's just a bunch of stuff. I do have boxes for all this shit. Damn. Boxes for a lot of it. Let's have to pull the boxes out. Possibility. Gamecraft. Flap slap box. Oh yeah, there's some little Petey's. Little Petey. Reynolds baits. Some mimics in there. Not painting those. Painting those. One package. All right. I think that's about it for everything. A few mimics, a few PDs. Killer Bee 2 body that hadn't had the lip slot cut. You tell me. You tell me, dudes. Mimics are great baits. I have quite the collection of them. I will say, Kelly Stooksbury has probably my favorite, if not the best, little squigglies on a bait, I think, of all time. His and they're not squigglies, they're more like drip down the sides of some of his baits. They are immaculate. I love them. Let me see. I might have one that's got his squigglies on it. I don't know. Let's see. Oh yeah, these squigglies. His squiggles are immaculate. I love them. They should be the gold standard of squiggles. I have a lot of that fire tiger color. Got that one. Yeah. Why do I have so many fire tigers? Maybe because I like the squiggles. I even got some I painted. How about that? I love his little shad wrap though. Kelly knows what's up. What are you doing in here? You're not supposed to be in here. You're a fisher. You're a fisher. Oh, there's one of those Pat Renwick-esque crawfish. Speaking of food, I need to go eat. I need to go get something to eat. I haven't eaten in 3 days. Yeah, they were similar, John. They weren't. Those squiggles on those baits were probably 7 years old. I need to redo my squiggles. Fire tiger. Let's see. That one or the Woo Special. I don't have any Dominicans. There's probably one of them out here somewhere. Oh, here's a bait. I don't know what it is. I don't know that I'll ever know what it is. Can somebody identify that? You're leaving? Where are you going?
I'm going to, well, if they're not going to meet me at Tomerville, then I'm just going to put on the door from home.
Okay.
Bye, guys. See y'all.
Do I know what this loser is? Can you identify the loser? Unidentified plastic crankbait popper. He was going to school. You know what's interesting about this popper? It has a rattle, but it sticks. Could it be the magical P70 stick? We'll see. Dude, that's a pretty sweet looking fire tiger. Come on, you dick. The green on this day was extra green for the from the Bagley factory. Huh. Who knows? All right, dudes, I'm gonna go find some food. Uh-oh, the Griffin blank you sent me is starting to stick. You mean it's starting, the weight starting to, the knocker starting to stick, or it's starting to stick in your arsenal that you like throwing it? Later, Kyle. Hope you get your tire fixed. Hope people quit running over your shit. But after South Jersey responds, let me get off here. Yeah, the weight is starting to stick, and I've always liked the Griffin, but that one has a unique sound. Well, maybe that is a pro of the knockoff. Is that the weight stick? Who knows? All right, dudes. Go check your baits for sticky weights, and we'll talk later. Thanks for everybody for sticking by. We'll see y'all later on, and I will start work on the 3-hook. You know what? See you dudes later.